Hello everybody and welcome back to OMB Reviews. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well, and today we're going to be doing a box office breakdown. Though there is not a whole lot of stuff going on here in the States, there is a lot of action going on overseas, especially in China, where they've actually halted the release of a movie because of a perceived racial slur. Now we'll dive into the news and report on that in just a second, but first, if y'all could smash the like button, hit the subscribe if you've not done so already, and also hit the bell notification. That way you know every time a video goes live, and even better if you could share this video. That's how we're going to continue to grow the channel over here. And if you want to support the channel in other ways, you can check out links in the description of the video to find out more. So let's go ahead and dive into this article from Deadline. China halted Monster Hunter, bows at #1 in other markets. The Croods: A New Age tops 60 million worldwide, and Japan's Demon Slayer closing in on Spirited Away international box office. And that's right, international, because we really have nothing going on here because we still got these stupid lockdowns. Sunday's international box office reporting looks vastly different to what was expected coming into the weekend. A Friday gross that portended a high teens launch of Monster Hunter in China was quickly thwarted when local authorities pulled the feature game adaptation from the country's cinemas. This was a result of an online backlash over a short exchange in the film that has been perceived as racist by local audiences. We understand that Tencent, which is handling Chinese distribution and is an equity partner in the film, is waiting to hear from the Film Bureau over whether excising the offending scene could allow it back to the screens. What's interesting is that the line in play, and literally it's not bad enough for me to even have to censor it, is someone asked the question, "What kind of knees are those?" And she says, "Chinese." Yes, that was it. Now, some have pointed out saying, oh, it's kind of like the old schoolyard thing, you know, Chinese, Japanese, dirty, you know, the whole thing. And I'm thinking to myself, to me, I just look at it as, no, it's because Chinese and the word knees is in there, and it's kind of funny. Does that just make me a hateful-ist? I don't think so. But the fact that all of this, of course, stemmed from an online backlash tells me that it was just a bunch of trolls, most likely, who were trying to create backlash, just like what we see happen here in America on Twitter, where things that really mean nothing happen, and then all of a sudden there's this huge backlash on Twitter, and then what happens? All the companies and everyone else have to bow down to the mob and apologize. In fact, they've actually done this. Monster Hunter producer has issued an apology over the scene, which, by the way, this clip and this image right here makes me kind of actually want to see this movie. It looks kind of badass in a lot of ways. I don't really know a whole lot about it. And so now, especially since it's been pulled from theaters, you know what happens when movies get pulled from theaters because of so-called controversy, makes me want to see it that much more. So we'll have to wait and see when the movie gets released onto services that I can actually get, or on 4K Blu-ray so I can buy it that way. China state media is not reporting on the issue. And ticketing platform Maoin has removed Monster Hunter from the Friday chart, even though the film did about 5.3 million that day, including late Thursday sneaks. Yeah. And this is the reason why communism sucks, because basically they can just act as if this film never existed, pull it completely, and poof, erase from existence, and not even cover it at all. That is kind of creepy. If they can do that with a movie, what else can they do it with? Maybe a virus. Oh, wait, that's right. They already did that. My bad. Anyway, the Middle Kingdom was expected to be Monster Hunter's biggest play. Even if it did appear in cinemas, much damage has already been done. But it's notable that this scene in question was not censored during the rigorous vetting process that all films face. Yeah, because it wasn't a big deal. Literally, the fact that the online community even had anything to do with it kind of points to the fact that this was probably a troll job. USC professor Stanley Rosen tells us this goes to show that no censorship decision in China is final. Decisions can be overturned by higher-level officials or public opinion. Yeah, the fact that there's a censorship process in general. I love how there's a USC professor who's like, oh, your censorship process, da, da, da. It's like, how about instead of you just saying that, you go, yeah, censorship is stupid, and seriously, we need to have a revolution in China. Just saying it. Obviously, no one in China is going to hear this because the media is not going to allow it to enter, or rather, the communist government's not going to allow any dissenting opinion into their country. And that's the reason why we need to be a lot more vocal about it, and why I'm always vocal whenever China comes up. Anyway, Elsewhere, Monster Hunter saw 5 markets debut via Sony, with a combined 2.65 million. Each came in number 1, including Taiwan, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and the Netherlands. The Paul W.S. Anderson directed fantasy action, interesting direction choice there, pick is produced by Constantin Impact Pictures, Tencent, and Toho. Sony has worldwide rights outside of Germany, Austria, Switzerland, China, and Japan. It has a December 25th North American date lined up. Well, good to know. I will probably try and do the very best to see this film now that it has caused controversy. Monster Hunter's troubles in China had a beneficial effect for DreamWorks Animation's The Croods 2: A New Age. Again, the sequel that no one asked for, which saw its screen count increase there on Saturday. This resulted in a 500% jump from Friday, and on Sunday, the Caveman sequel hopped over local newcomer Soul Snatcher to land a number 2 for the day. Overall, Croods 2 came in number 3 for the Middle Kingdom session with an additional 12.2 million, minus 36 versus last week's launch, for a cumulative there of 36.6 million, which again, of that, they get about 25%, so still millions of dollars, but not nearly as much as you would think. The original Croods did 63.3 million in China, and this one has good scores and some runway ahead, meaning it could go very close to that and expected to at least break 50 million locally, which just means it's not doing as well. Don't try and spin it. It's not doing as well because, again, no one asked for it. Just going to put that out there. In total, Croods 2 picked up $13.6 million from 10 markets and has an offshore cumulative of $40.3 million for $60.6 million worldwide. New this session of Denmark with a number 3 spot of 351,000. IMAX counted for $1 million. But let's get to the movie that is actually making money. That is actually something worth talking about based on what people are telling me. And that is Japan's Demon Slayer, the movie Mugen Train. I don't know if I'm saying that pronouncing that correctly, but it's about to break records in Japan, which is pretty exciting stuff. It's estimated to have added about $6 million during the FSS session. That would bring the local total to 28.7 billion yen, which is about 276 million, and leave 2.1 billion yen between the cultural phenomenon and Japan's highest grossing film ever, Spirited Away, 30.8 billion. So 28.7 to 30.8. It could definitely get to that point, which it should catch before month's end, they think. Last weekend, it sailed past Titanic to take the number 2 spot on Japan's all-time charts. It is already the number 1 animated title of 2020 worldwide, and internationally, it remains at numbers 5 and 3 in overall worldwide and international rankings for the year, based on the Japan cumulative alone. That just goes to show you that people are going to see movies in Japan, and guess what? We could totally do that here. All we need to do is open the economy. It's the economy, stupid. Oh my goodness. Demon Slayer a few weekends ago became IMAX's biggest movie ever in Japan and has now reached a cumulative 18 million in the IMAX market over there, and it goes on and on and on. So this is pretty great news for Japan. Japan's marketplace seems to be doing very, very well. China continues to be a complete ass by destroying the prospects of this movie, but then again, they decided to get in bed with China to produce this film, so what were you expecting? Basically, if you make China mad at all, they can just say, boop, your film never existed. Wait, there was a film called Monster Hunter? No, there wasn't. There was no film called Monster Hunter. Wait, what do you mean? But it was out in theaters and they had promotions for it. No, we don't know what you're talking about. That is the kind of insanity that we're dealing with talking about that. But Japan, on the other hand, pretty damn awesome. Again, they're opening up things. Their theaters are doing well. Demon Slayer is doing incredibly well. Again, to surpass a film like Titanic, even though that's just in the Japan marketplace, is still pretty impressive, seeing that Titanic made all of the money. And in every single list you look at, especially when you adjust for inflation, Titanic still reigns as one of the highest grossing films of all time. So the fact that a film coming out in 2020 during the midst of a pandemic broke that record and is likely going to break probably the record of one of the most beloved Japanese animes of all time in Spirited Away, tells you that there is a hunger out there for content. There is a hunger out there for movies. There's a hunger out there for entertainment. People want to be entertained. People also want to be able to leave their houses and have fun and do all the things that we typically would get to do. And guess what? People, for the most part, are also adults who can social distance on their own, can wear masks on their own, can wash their hands on their own, and guess what? Do not have to be babied by an all-powerful government, which is beginning to look more and more like China every single day, saying that China is willing to pull out a theater, or rather an entire film, just because of one line that has really no real bad part of it, to the point of us doing something similar here. That was supposed to be a point. I guess some of you got that. Maybe you didn't. But anyway, What are your thoughts about these numbers? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and share the video with anyone that likes box office numbers. But yeah, Demon Slayer kicking some tail. Croods 2 is, I guess, making money, but again, no one really asked for it, and it's making less than the original did, which I would have predicted because, again, I didn't even like the original, and it's been 7 years plus since the last one, and again, who is asking for it? I still don't quite know. But Monster Hunter, I kind of want to see it now, even though they were in bed with China. The fact that China says, oh, that film doesn't exist now, kind of makes me want to see it, because whatever China hates, I am just naturally inclined to love. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Please also check the links for how to support the channel. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless. And now for a huge shout out to all of my December Patreon and Subscribe Star members, starting off with Patreon, Albertus Magnus, Andrew Hoyle, Animation Commentator, Brian P., Dion, Divex, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Father Damian Cook, Garrett Searles, Harold Francis, The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jacob Juice, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Carney, Kenneth Cameo, Laura Story, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, On to June, Orange Hat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Outpost Dyer, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Miss Martin Muses, also known as Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, Tina Bogend, Tina B, and the Modern Major General, Laura Story. Gotta give you that shout out for that one time that you were doubled up. Thank you very much for being my Patreon members. And now a huge shout out to all of my December Subscribe Star members we have over there with Stand For, Perpetual Punster, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, Darkstar 57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nevadan G. Adams, and ZK Man. Thank you all so much for being my Patreon and Subscribe Star members. If you want your name shouted out at the end of every video and live stream on the main channel, please consider joining over on those platforms. You can also get access to things like exclusive giveaways of 4Ks, Blu-rays. If you want a DVD, I guess you could also get a DVD as well, digital codes, and of course, you get to possibly join me on the channel once a month for the Chosen of Valhalla live stream and access to an exclusive podcast featuring John the Flick Pick Flickinger, where we have a lot of fun talking about movies and tons of other random things. Anyway, if you want to support these things, check out the links in the description of this video. And also, please consider joining my other channel, the OMB Report, where I talk about not just movies like I do over here, but I focus more so on politics, news, and culture in that order. You guys are all amazing. Thank you for your love and support. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.